The biggest thing that I can see slowing him down right now is his kick and his body position. Welcome to Feedback Friday. This is where we analyze someone's stroke. So today we've got a triathlete named Calvin, and he's kindly sent through his videos here. And if you have some videos of yourself swimming, ideally some underwater footage is great, and make sure it's high quality. We are looking for more people to submit their videos. So I'll put the link below, and that way you can submit your own videos to be chosen for Feedback Friday. Now, if you don't get chosen, or you just want to say, I want you to have a look at my stroke, then I'll also put the link to our one-time analysis where you can send your videos to myself or our other coach, Mitch, and we can analyze these videos for you and do something pretty similar to what we do today. Now, in this video, there's a lot that this swimmer is doing right. And one of the things that you'll probably notice here as we go through it is that in terms of his alignment, some parts of his catch and pull, it's in place and it's looking pretty good. The biggest thing that I can see slowing him down right now is his kick and his body position. If we can tighten things up a little bit, reduce the drag, and basically just get him sitting a little bit better in the water, he's going to swim much faster for a whole lot less effort. The most obvious view of this is, I think, from the front. So you'll see that the feet and legs are kicking down pretty low in the water. And so from a drag point of view, you'll notice that below the torso, he's slowing himself down quite a bit. With that, we only really want to just see the feet coming just below the torso when on the downward kicks, and that's it. But you'll notice as we go through here that the kick is quite wide and quite big, so he's creating a lot of extra drag there. And when we look from this side view, where are we? So when we look from this side view, you can't really see it there, but you can just see it from this point here, that that kick is it's a little too bent in the knees. And in terms of sort of, I guess you'd call it the posture here, we kind of get the hips up high there, which is great, but the legs coming down. So the first thing I'd do if I was coaching this swimmer would be to get that posture in place. Now, if you imagine like a soldier standing tall, standing upright, it's kind of a similar position that he might want to try and go for. So I'd get him to sort of draw his belly button in a little bit, brace his core, squeeze his butt cheeks together, and that is going to get him nice and straight through the entire body. It's a bit of a weird sensation, but that's going to get the glutes being used. It's going to get them in action in order to just keep everything a whole lot straighter. Because at the moment, you can kind of see it from this underwater shot pretty well, that you can just see that big bend through the hips and how low the legs are coming. The second thing that will be involved with that is just tightening the kick up a little bit, making it a bit narrower, so that if he imagines, instead of, let's say his kick is about that big at the moment, that's the size of it. If we can make it this big, if we can make it about that big, contain it in that sort of size, by reducing how much the knees are bending when he's kicking. So it's okay to have a bit of bend in the knees on the downwards kick, but we need to come up a bit straighter in the upwards kick. So just trying to make that a little bit smaller, a little bit narrower. That would be the very first thing. So we've got the posture and tightening up of the kick. Now that is it might take a couple of sessions to really dial that in and get a feel for it. And the way he could do that is I'd probably start with those really simple drills, like front kick, moving on to then sort of side kick and maybe 6-1-6 drill. Going through that drill progression could be a really good way just to get him used to, keeping the kick smaller and steady. And I'd recommend probably wearing some fins when he does that as well. But that will be the first thing. Then once we've got that in place, the other thing I'd then encourage him to do would be to focus on a little bit more reach and extension. So if you saw our video of Taiwan Park the other day, I'll put a link below if you haven't seen it. In that video, I talked about making sure that you enter and extend forwards and reach before you start your catch. What you'll notice here is that he's starting that catch pretty soon. So when the hand enters, all right, so he's entering there, and then there's no real sort of point of reach and extension with that hand and arm in the water. Most of it seems to happen from above. So we get this nice recovery. So you can see elbows pointing up, hand is relaxed. That's really good with the recovery. Then as that hand goes to enter, the first thing that actually enters is his elbow. So he's overreaching above the water So the elbow lands first, the hand is above. So there's nowhere for him really to go. He's just then forced to sort of press down with the hand and forearm, and it's very hard to set up a good catch that way. So what I encourage him to do on both sides here is get this triangle shape upon entry. So fingers first, elbow up. You're in this position, and then once you're there, the fingertips can hit the water first. Then just feel like you are straightening your arm in the water and doing that at sort of shoulder height. So once the hand and arm is in there, straighten it at shoulder height there. What that will do for him is a couple things, but the first one will be, it's going to give him some time to get rid of these bubbles on the hand. So if you enter at full extension, you're going to collect the air. It's going to stay on your palm, it's going to stay under your forearm, and often we'll get just a few too many bubbles on the hand and forearm there through that part of the stroke. So he's just not as effective as he could be. But the more important thing he'll be able to do then is when he's in this position, right, he'll be able to then feel like he's reaching for the wall in front of him and rotating his shoulders at the same time. And when that's happening, this hand will be pressing back past his hip instead of just getting drawn out of the water a bit soon. So he might need to make it feel like he's trying to make each stroke a little bit longer, like he's trying to reach. It'll feel like he's gliding a bit with each stroke, as opposed to this constant turnover of the arms. Because at the moment, if we were to look side on, which we don't have that underwater footage, most of his underwater, I'll play this through for you, most of the underwater would be a little bit like a triangle shape. If we were to trace his fingertips, it would be this triangle shape coming under the water. What we want to try and do there is make it like he's reaching forwards there, spend longer out the front, slow down that reach and extension phase, and then pull through. And that will allow him to just not sort of make that sort of triangle shape there. And it will also help him with this last part. You can see how the hand and forearm is kind of getting pulled out of the water a little bit early and a little bit wide. So the gap between here and here is a bit too much. By adjusting what we were just speaking about, that will then help him just basically improve this last part. So from here, we'd want to see the hand and forearm come in next to the hip, finish a little bit closer to it, and press back and exit just past the hip. And it's going to maintain that propulsion all the way through the stroke. Whereas at the moment, you'll see here that, all right, what is it? That's his left arm there. So you'll see that he actually comes out a little bit early with the arm. So he's coming out a bit short and a little bit wide. So I'd ideally want to be pressing back a little bit further, not have as much bend in the arm on that exit. So basically he'll be able to get a bit more propulsion out the back, a little bit more length there. He'll get to coordinate that reach and rotation through the shoulders and the hips with his pressing back. And he could increase his distance per stroke by good, when he really gets it, it'd be a good sort of 10 to 20% increase in distance per stroke for what will actually be probably a bit less effort as well. So yeah, it's not like, you don't need a complete overhaul with a lot of these things, because fundamentally there's a lot that he's doing really well. And in terms of his head position here looks good. His alignment, he's entering on those train tracks, which is great. And like generally the path of the hand through the catch and pull is looking pretty good. It's just that we need to get the posture, the kick, we need to get that in place. And I'd start with that, probably 2 or 3 weeks worth of, just some drills and some swimming to work on that. And then I would work on that reach and extension in the stroke, making sure you're finishing past the hip. And then I'd probably just work on refining the catch and the pull after that. So it's kind of that progression that I'd follow if I was this swimmer. Now, if you do have your own videos, as I said, we're looking for some new videos for people to send in for Feedback Friday. So I choose one every week. The better quality your footage, the higher chance you've got of being chosen. So I'll put the link below for that. If you just want to go, look, I just look at my stroke, I need some help, then I'll put the link below where we've now got some one-time analysis available by myself or our other coach, Mitch. I'll put the link below there. And if you do enjoy these videos and you want to get notified every time we upload a new one, hit the subscribe button and that notification bell next to it. And that way you'll get notified every time we add a new video. Otherwise, hit the like button. That just helps us get shown to more people. And let me know in the comments if there's anything that you feel like I missed or anything that you found helpful from this analysis. So thanks again for watching. We're on our way to 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I want to thank every single one of you who watches these videos, tells their friends about it, and shares these videos. It means a lot to me, and I really enjoy doing them. So I hope you enjoy watching them, and I'll be back next week with another video.